إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. بسم الله. So when most people, they think of happiness, or they think of the word happiness, a lot of things come to mind. Most of the things that come to mind are such as, some things that come to mind that person can think of as happiness is most of the time family, friends. A lot of people think about money as happiness. Many things come to mind when someone thinks of happiness, but it's the nature of human beings to strive or seek happiness. Some people in this dunya, they strive to seek material happiness away from religion. So they look for things in this dunya only, such as money or a good job or a good car, good house, good living area, whatever the case may be. People usually look for material happiness away from Islam. People do this thinking that this is true happiness. But this kind of happiness will be succeeded by pain and sorrow at the day of judgment, and its people will know that their striving led them only to misery and not happiness. So basically, that if we focus on trying to find happiness in this dunya, we won't have that happiness or the goodness of Jannah in the Akhirah. So that's why we have to focus more on trying to gain Allah's mercy, trying to become the best Muslim we can be in order to reach Jannatul Firdaus. While others know that the true way to happiness is to obey God and follow His religion, for them the pleasures and riches of the world are of little consequence. Meaning that a lot of people know that the dunya is going to end. A lot of people know that there is going to be akhirah, there is a day where we have to face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But they're more focused on this dunya because they're like, oh, I'll pray when I get older, or I'll focus more on Islam once I age a little. But that's not what we have to do, because we don't know when we're going to pass away. We don't know when Malikul Maut will come. So we have to focus more on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His deen, the 5 pillars of Islam, the 6 pillars of faith. You have to focus more on that rather than what we're focusing on right now, which is the dunya. What kind of happiness could be greater than that of someone who humbles himself to God, worships Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, strives for His pleasure, and strives to enter paradise and have salvation from hell. The believer lives with such a sweetness in his heart that if the masters of the earth knew it, they would fight him to death to take it from him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, in Surah Ar-Ra'd, verse number 29, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الذين آمنوا وتطمئن قلوبهم بذكر الله ألا بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب. Those who have believed and whose hearts are assured by the remembrance of Allah, unquestionably by the remembrance of Allah, hearts are assured. Basically, this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that those whose hearts are assured in the remembrance of Allah. So those who remember Allah often, those who do dhikr, those who pray often, those who do good acts of worship, do good deeds and remember Allah, their hearts are assured not only by themselves but from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala too. Happiness in the good life mentioned in this verse that even the rich disbelievers cannot find despite the money they have. This is why we are not surprised when we know that many among them committed suicide. So a lot of rich people, they usually commit suicide because they don't find that inner peace. They don't find that inner happiness. Even though they could have all the money in the world, they could have all the riches in the world, they could have everything of this dunya, but if they don't have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they don't believe in His Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they can't find happiness at all, because that's not the happiness that Muslims are striving for. To reach the true happiness, we need to know what is the purpose of our life, how to reach success in the hereafter and to fulfill the requirements of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and reaching the success by following His commandments and His true religion. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran in Surah Taha, وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا وَنَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in this verse that, and whoever turns away from my remembrance, indeed he will have a depressed life, and we will gather him on the day of resurrection blind. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us believers in this ayah that those who turn away from His remembrance, those who forget about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those who don't remind themselves that there is going to be an akhirah, they will have a depressed life. They will have a depressed life. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that those who turn away, they will have a depressed life. And then He says, we will gather him on the day of resurrection blind. The day of resurrection, the day of judgment, akhirah, we will gather him blind. So basically meaning that those who turn away from Allah's remembrance, Allah will turn away from them in the akhirah. Us humans, we know a lot about Mars, and we know a lot about the earth, we know a lot about the moons, the stars, the galaxies, because of the knowledge we have now. But how much will we know about our eternal life? The only way we can know about our eternal life after death, and how do we know how we're going to reach to Jannah? So basically, the knowledge we have right now is really great. It's huge, humongous. We have a lot of knowledge is right now that people can acquire. But the thing that we're doing is that we're focusing more on this dunya. We're focusing more on getting that good job. We're focusing more on getting that new car. We're focusing more on saving up for that down payment for that new car, that we're forgetting about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're forgetting about the person, the being that created us from clay. We're forgetting about the one that created this whole earth, this whole universe, and everything inside of it. We're forgetting about the one that's the only person that can have mercy on us and save us from the hellfire. We're forgetting about that, but we're focusing on what He has created instead of the Creator Himself. People need to eat every day to supply their bodies with energy and to keep themselves healthy. If they stop eating for a period of time, diseases will sneak up on them and overtake them, and perhaps maybe even kill them. But similarly, people also need food of another kind, food for the spirit and food for the heart. And it is unfortunate that people are careless and forget to feed their bodies spiritually, religiously. Meaning that a lot of us, like, as I just said, that we need to eat daily. If we don't eat, we get tired, we get drained out, we can't focus that much in whatever we're doing. Same thing with our prayers. If we don't pray, it is like our hearts need it. Like, we need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need us. So if we don't pray, it's only going to benefit us. It's not going to benefit Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because we're the one who needs the prayer in the long run. There was the hadith, or I think it was a hadith or ayah, I don't remember exactly, but where it was said that if you're in a gathering with other Muslim people, and in that gathering, throughout the whole time you're there, none of those people, or not even you, mention Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name once, you should not be in that gathering again. You should not be friends with those people, because those who do not remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will not be assured by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning that they did not remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which reiterates back to the ayah that I read before, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the ones who remember. So therefore we should always make an effort to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to serve His cause, and to try to be better Muslims, because in the long run, the only thing that's going to help us in the akhirah is our prayers, is our zakat, is our hajj, is our fasting, is everything that we're supposed to do as Muslim and more. That's the only thing that's going to help us in the akhirah. وآخر دعاني الحمد لله رب العالمين. I request everybody at this time to join me with dua. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ربنا آمنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا أتمم لنا نورنا واغفر لنا إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. لا إله إلا هو وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.